They say a child who does not listen to the wisdom of elders will learn through the sharp thorns of life. Ugana's journey was one of wisdom, struggle, and secrets. But secrets, like the wind, never stay still for long. In a small village where the sun rose like golden fire over the land, Ugana was born into the family of Mr. and Mrs. Chikwudi Yugos. He was the middle child of 5, a bright young man whose heart burned with dreams bigger than his home. His family lived in lack, but Ugana was different. He refused to accept poverty as his destiny. From the age of 18, Ugana worked tirelessly. He sold pure water on the dusty roads, carried heavy yams to the market, mended clothes, and even mixed cement at building sites. Every coin he earned, he saved in silence. His family thought he was simply trying to help, but Ugana had a bigger plan. He had his eyes on the land beyond the seas, the United Kingdom. Without a word to his siblings or his father, he applied for a visa. When it was granted, he told only his mother, whispering that he was going to Lagos. But Lagos was not his destination. With nothing but determination in his heart, Ugana boarded a plane and flew across the great waters, leaving behind the red earth of his ancestors. Life in England was not easy. The cold air bit into his skin, and the silence of foreign streets made his heart ache for home. But Ugana was a survivor. He cleaned offices by day and guarded buildings by night. He saved money, for he knew that one day he would return to his land as a great man. Then came Obinna. Obinna was loud where Ugana was quiet. He laughed at life while Ugana took it seriously. A rascal yet a friend. Ugana, who had spent so long chasing his dream alone, found comfort in Obinna's company. They faced the struggles of immigrants together, missing home but never looking back. Years passed, and Ugana's hard work bore fruit. He earned a diploma in hospitality, and with the money he had saved, he built a cleaning company. It started small but grew strong, like the roots of an ancient tree. Now, he was not just a hustler. He was a businessman, the master of his own fate. After 4 years, he decided it was time. Time to return. Time to face the family he had left behind without a word. When Ugana stepped back into his village, whispers spread like harmattan dust. His family was shocked. 4 years and not a single letter. But all was forgotten in the joy of his return. They sang his name, celebrated his success, and Ugana felt the warmth of home once more. Then he saw her, Adana. She was tall like the palm trees, her skin smooth like fresh cassava, her lips red like ripe strawberries. When Ugana's eyes met hers, his heart beat like the village drum. Love wrapped around them like a soft wind. It was love at first sight, strong and undeniable. Ugana knew one thing. He would make Adana his wife. But in the land of men, love is never so simple. Ah, my child, the elders say that a river that forgets its source will one day run dry. Ugana had returned home a great man. But the path of destiny is never smooth, and the spirits of the land had not yet finished weaving his story. From the moment Ugana set his eyes on Adana, his heart knew no rest. She was like the first rain after a long dry season, refreshing, full of life, and impossible to ignore. Adana was not only beautiful, She was the daughter of a respected hunter, Chief Ens. She carried herself with the grace of a queen, and when she laughed, it was like the sound of water splashing over smooth stones. Ugana had met many women in England, but none of them had the fire of Adana. Each day, he found a reason to see her. Sometimes he would buy fresh palm wine from her mother's stall, pretending he was thirsty. Other times, he would pass by her home on his way to the market, greeting her father with the respect of a true son of the land. And Adana? She was just as smitten. She waited eagerly for his visits, adjusting her wrapper and oiling her hair before he arrived. When their eyes met, her cheeks burned like embers, and her smile lingered long after he was gone. The villagers began to whisper, "Have you seen the way Ugana looks at Adana? He is no longer the boy who left us. He is now a man with wealth." Do you think her father will agree? Chief Ens is not an easy man to please. Ugana knew what he had to do. In the land of his ancestors, love was not just a feeling, it was a journey. If he wanted Adana as his wife, he had to follow tradition. One morning, Ugana put on his best attire, a fine white tunic with beads around his wrist, and walked to his father's hut. Mr. Chikudi Yugos, his father, was seated outside, chewing on a stick of bitter cola, his old eyes sharp with wisdom. "Papa, I have come to speak to you," Ugana said, kneeling before him. His father looked at him for a long moment before nodding. "Speak, my son. The ears of an elder are always open. I have found a woman I want to marry. Her name is Adana, the daughter of Chief Ens." His father raised an eyebrow. "Chief Ens' daughter? You have chosen a strong house to enter. I love her, Papa. I want to marry her the right way." His father smiled. "Then you must be ready, my son. Chief Ens will not make it easy for you." True to his father's words, when Ugana and his elders visited Chief Ens' compound to declare his intentions, the old hunter did not smile. He listened in silence as Ugana spoke, his face as unreadable as the sky before a storm. Finally, he leaned forward and said, "A man does not give his daughter away like a piece of firewood. If you want Adana's hand, you must prove that you are worthy." And then he gave Ugana a list. My child, when Ugana saw the list, his heart nearly stopped. It was long. 20 bags of salt, 10 kegs of palm wine, 5 goats, and a fattened cow. He also had to bring a bag of colonets, 10 wrappers for Adana's mother, and a sum of money fit for a king. The village erupted with laughter when they heard the news. Is Chief Ens selling his daughter or giving her away? But Ugana did not complain. He was a man now, and a man who desires a good thing must be ready to work for it. He immediately sent word to England, arranging for more money to be sent. He bought everything on the list without hesitation. When Chief Ens saw Ugana's determination, he nodded in approval. "You have proven that you are not just a boy with money, but a man with honor. You may have my daughter." The wedding was a grand affair, one that people spoke about for many moons. The drums beat late into the night, and the air was filled with the smell of roasted meat and fresh palm wine. Ugana and Adana began their new life together, settling into a beautiful home in the village. He had plans, big plans. He wanted to expand his cleaning company in Nigeria, create jobs for the people, and make his name even greater. But fate, my child, fate had other plans. One evening, as Ugana sat outside his home, a familiar voice called his name. Ugana. He turned, and there stood Obinna, his old friend from England. Ugana was overjoyed. Obinna, my brother, what are you doing here? Obinna grinned. I told you I would come home one day, didn't I? But as the night wore on, Ugana began to sense something different about Obinna. His once carefree friend now spoke in hushed tones, his eyes darting around like a man with secrets. Ugana, I have a business deal for you, Obinna whispered. Big money, my brother. Bigger than your cleaning company. Ugana frowned. What kind of business? Obinna leaned closer. Let's just say, it's the kind of work that makes you rich fast. No questions asked. A cold feeling crept into Ugana's heart. He knew what Obinna was talking about. No, he said firmly. I have worked too hard to build my name. I will not stain it with dirty business. Obinna laughed, shaking his head. You always were too serious. But remember, my brother, in this life, the fastest way to wealth is not always the cleanest. With that, he left. But Ugana knew that this was not the last he would hear of Obinna. Days turned into weeks, and Ugana found himself troubled. Strange things began to happen. His business deals in Nigeria started falling apart. His shipments from England were delayed. And worst of all, whispers spread in the village that Ugana was involved in shady dealings. One day, he confronted his father. Papa, why do people say such things about me? His father sighed. My son, when a tree grows too tall, the wind will try to bend it. You must be careful. Ugana suspected Obinna had something to do with it. But why? Had his old friend turned against him? And so, my child, Ugana's journey is far from over. Shadows from the past have returned, and his future hangs in the balance. Will he overcome the trap set before him? Or will his success become his downfall? But that is a story for another night.